Keep calm and hodl on. That's the mantra that a lot of crypto adherents swear by. But let's be honest, just sitting and waiting for a rally can be frustrating. That is why you will no doubt want to earn some juice staking returns from the crypto you do own. Of course, not all coins are stakeable, but my goal today is to help you find the best that are. My name is Guy, and in this video I'm going to give you my top 5 picks for staking coins. I'll also dish out some top tips when it comes to staking your coins and banking their return. So be sure to stick around till the very end if you want my personal take. Before I get cracking, I need to clear the air. This is not investment advice, unfortunately. This is all presented as a supplement to your own research, purely for educational purposes. And if this is your first time joining us, a very warm welcome. I release these regularly, so I encourage you to hit up that subscribe button and ping that bell. Get these the moment they hit the tube. Okay, all clear? Great, let's stake. Now, for those of you who are already fully aware of how proof of stake works, feel free to jump onto the picks with the timestamps below. But for those of you who are just learning about it, I want to give you a short overview. Proof of stake is a consensus mechanism where the miners on the network are called validators. Validators propose new blocks to add to the chain and validate new transactions through a voting process. In order to be a validator on the network, you'll have to lock up a certain portion of your crypto in order to be a participant. This is called staking, and hence you can see where the name comes from. So, unlike with proof of work, where the economic cost of participation is electricity and capital, with proof of stake, the cost is the crypto staked, or locked up. Another reason that proof of stake is often chosen as a consensus mechanism is that it aligns incentives for those staking. Participants who have crypto staked in a network will have more reason to ensure that the network remains robust and secure. There are a number of other pros that come with proof of stake consensus, including ease of scalability and it being less harmful to the environment. Of course, this video was not made for Greta Thunberg. The main benefit that comes from this is that users like you and me can stake our coins on the network and earn returns for doing that. How neat is that? Not only are we helping to uphold the security of said network, but we're also getting paid to do it. Moving on to my picks though, I just need to point out that they are based on a number of factors. It's not just the staking return. There are a number of coins or tokens that have really high staking returns but don't have much else going for them. Now, with all of that out of the way and without further ado, let's get going with my first pick, Tezos. Tezos is a project that has had quite a rocky ride over the past 3 years. A blockbuster ICO in 2017 followed by delays in the launch and stories of infighting. However, that was all put behind the project as they launched their mainnet back in 2018. The project has been building out the protocol ever since and has been one of the few projects that gave their ICO investors a return on their investment. Indeed, until the recent COVID-related market crash, Tezos, with the ticker XTZ, was one of the best performing altcoins. So what is Tezos exactly? Well, it's a self-amending blockchain protocol that supports smart contracts as well as the development of decentralized applications. It was built from the ground up and is not based on any other blockchain or codebase. Self-amendment helps in upgrading the blockchain without undergoing a hard fork. As we've often seen, forks can be contentious and can split a community. Tezos also has a pretty unique consensus method called liquid proof of stake, or LPoS. This is a variant of the delegated proof of stake method used on other blockchains such as EOS, etc. Through LPoS, owners of Tezos can delegate the rights to verify transactions without transferring ownership of the coins. Instead of requiring a fixed delegate group that produces blocks to achieve consensus, Tezos makes delegation optional. On the Tezos blockchain, they've termed staking baking. A baker commits token deposits, then receives their rewards for signing and creating blocks. Bakers who behave in an unacceptable manner are likely to lose their deposit. In order to independently bake on the Tezos blockchain, you'll need to hold at least 8,000 XTZ and run full node. You'll also need to run the baker and endorse a client. Now, I know what you're thinking. Guy, 8,000 XTZ is too much for me. Well, fear not, my crypto friends. That is where the delegation comes in. You can delegate your XTZ to a specific baker who then gets the rights to use your balance for baking new blocks. You will then get a staking return that is slightly reduced from the fee that the delegate has taken. Delegating your Tezos is actually pretty simple, and there are a number of ways in which you can do it. You can set it up yourself with the guide I've provided below, or you can use an exchange delegation service. Exchanges such as Binance and Coinbase offer this, albeit at slightly higher fees. In terms of the staking return, you're looking at about 6% at current levels. Now, I know that this is not as high as some others, but I chose it because I'm bullish on Tezos in general. Remember, it's not just the return that you should be interested in, but the appreciation potential of the underlying coin. Why am I bullish on Tezos? Well, they've been delivering on time. They have a strong team behind them and have powerful backers. They also have a pretty large development budget given their record-breaking ICO. If you want my complete view on Tezos, then you can check out a separate video I did right over here. Anyways, next coin. Synthetix. This is one of the hottest projects currently running in the DeFi space. Quite simply, it is a crypto asset-backed network that enables the creation of on-chain synthetic assets. Okay, that's a bit of a word salad, so what do I mean by it? Well, it's basically a platform that enables you to create synthetic crypto assets that are linked to the value of some other asset. This can be synthetic fiat currencies, commodities, or even other cryptocurrencies. You can also develop inverse assets or synthetic indexes. Pretty cool. It was built on the Ethereum blockchain, and these ERC20 synthetic assets are collateralized by the Synthetix network token, SNX. Once these SNX are locked in a contract, it enables the issuance of synths. Users on the network are encouraged to stake their SNX tokens, and they're paid a pro rata portion of the fees generated through activity on synthetix.exchange. This is based on their contribution to the network. As an SNX staker, you'll also benefit from the inflation on the protocol. Currently, there is a 1.25% inflation rate on the network where SNX holders will earn those newly minted tokens. Now, the staking return on SNX is actually quite impressive. By current estimates, SNX has a reward of about 48%. This is much higher than most of the other coins on the list. Why is this, you ask? Well, it's risk versus return. You do have more risk staking on Synthetix because you are providing collateral for traders to trade against. If traders are profitable, net of fees, stakers will lose out in the long term. If you still want to stake your SNX, then it's actually really simple. It basically requires you to connect to Minter, which is the Synthetix dApp for minting SUSD. I've linked to a handy guide below so you can get your staking on. So then, why am I bullish on SNX? Well, for those of you who've watched my previous videos, you'll know that I'm particularly bullish on the DeFi sector as a whole. Sure, there are growing pains, but I see lots of potential application. If you follow traditional financial markets, then you'll know just how popular synthetic assets are these days. They are structured on a plethora of different financial assets. There's nothing stopping this wide-scale adoption in the DeFi space. And I see Synthetix as the market leader for decentralized synthetic asset issuance game. And as there's more trading activity on the Synthetix platform, so too are fees likely to increase. This will of course lead to an increase in demand for SNX. Not just that, but more demand to mint synths will lead to an increased demand for SNX. Anyways, I could go on forever, so I won't. If you want more of my thoughts on Synthetix, then there is also a video for that. Time to move on though to our next coin on the list, and that is Algorand. Algorand is a pretty dynamic project that only recently shot into the top 100 on CMC. It's backed by some of the best brains in business and being developed by seasoned cryptography academics. Like many other cryptocurrency projects, Algorand is trying to tackle the blockchain trilemma. Essentially, they're trying to develop a network that's not only decentralized and secure, but is also highly scalable. They've developed a permissionless, pure proof-of-stake protocol with open participation and transaction finality. And according to some early stats from their network, they say that they're able to achieve about 1,000 transactions per second. pretty impressive. There are a number of other components to the Algorand network as well. For example, you'll also be able to build decentralized applications on Layer 1. So a decent alternative for dApp developers who are hamstrung by the slow networks on other blockchains. There are also a host of other features that are included on the network, including atomic swaps, etc. However, what you're most likely interested in is the staking returns. Am I right? The native crypto in the Algorand network are Algo, and you can earn some pretty handsome rewards for staking them. Currently, for every block that's minted, every user on Algorand receives an amount of rewards proportional to their stake. This is done in order to establish a large user base and distribute stake among many parties. Algorand may also introduce additional forms of rewards to encourage other types of behavior. Rewards are distributed at the end of every 6-month staking cycle. You can do this currently on Binance, where the staking returns are anywhere between 8 and 10%, so not too shabby. Of course, I'm bullish on Algorand for other reasons not related to the staking return. For example, did you know that nearly the entire team behind the Algorand protocol are based out of MIT? Also, the founder is a guy called Silvio Micali. For those that don't know, he was one of the inventors of zero-knowledge proofs, an extremely popular privacy-enhancing technology. No doubt having such a capable team working on the protocol is a great asset to the project. They also recently released Algorand 2.0. This is a major protocol upgrade that expands the range of dApps that can be built on the network as well as expands the functionality. As more and more developers become aware of the benefits of building on Algorand, usage is likely to increase, which could lead to an increase in demand for Algo. Anyways, I won't bore you with the details of it all. That is what my other video is for. Anyway, onwards with our march to the next coin. Loom. For those that don't know what the Loom network is, it's basically a platform as a service that will allow Ethereum-based decentralized applications to run on a sidechain. The main benefit of doing this is that it provides a more scalable environment for these decentralized applications. For those of you who can recall the 2017 CryptoKitties saga, it was not made to handle blockchain bloat on the main chain. Oh yes, and Loom also had integrations with Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance Chain, and Tron. This allows developers to integrate assets from all of the major blockchains. Loom operates a delegated proof-of-stake (DPoS) consensus mechanism. As mentioned above, through this mechanism, you'll delegate your Loom tokens in order to earn a portion of the staking returns on the network. These returns are actually quite impressive, and you can see an indicative breakdown here. In order to delegate over your tokens and earn that staking return, it's relatively easy. All you'll need to do is connect to their Mythos using the Loom-provided dApp chain web interface. I've linked to a simple guide about doing this below. Of course, there is another much simpler cop-out to stake Loom, and that is on exchange again. Binance offers Loom staking returns which are between about 10 and 12%. Not as much as you would earn doing it with using Mythos, but still quite an impressive return when compared to the other coins on offer. Why the Loom network though? Well, I think that they have an innovative solution to a pressing problem. Currently, dApp developers just can't rely on the Ethereum main chain to run their dApps in times of mass network strain. Yes, Ethereum 2.0 could ease this burden, but that still appears to be a long time away. And as a use case, there have already been a number of dApps that have been built on Loom. The simplistic and instantly scalable platform is a favourite. There's also likely to be a flood of additional developers that will come from the EOS ecosystem as Loom is considering adding an EOS integration. All of this network demand will no doubt lead to additional utility demand for Loom tokens. This is likely to also coincide with a decreasing circulating supply due to staking. And what do you have with an increasing demand but falling supply? That's right, the price of Loom is likely to increase, holding all else equal. Now, time for our final coin, and that is, drumroll please, that is Decred. Decred, with ticker DCR, is perhaps one of the oldest cryptocurrencies on our list and was first launched back in 2016. This is also unique in that it's a hybrid proof-of-stake and proof-of-work blockchain. With this system, proof-of-stake holders verify and authorize transactions once they've been mined by proof-of-work miners. There's also a governance component here, as the proof-of-stake voters will approve or reject any proposed rule changes to the Decred network. So, much like the Tezos blockchain, Decred has developed mechanisms to avoid destructive hard forks. When it comes to the staking process, users will time-lock their DCR to obtain what are termed voting tickets. These ticket holders will then earn 5.8 DCR per block, or about 1.16 Decred per ticket holder, given that there are 5 tickets in a block. In terms of voting, this is done through the use of a lottery system to select active voting tickets for a block. It's a random selection of tickets over a specified period of time. Once a ticket has voted or expired, the funds and the block reward are returned to the owner. Of course, there are a whole host of other factors at play here that determine the dynamics of Decred staking. Check out the links below for more info on that. Anyways, at current levels, the staking return on Decred is about 8%. So this places it in about the middle range of coins that we have above. If you wanted to start staking, then there are 2 ways to go about it. The first method is through solo staking. This would require you to run your own wallet that's connected to the network all the time. If you wanted to start solo staking, then you would need to have some command line skills. This is because solo staking can only be done through the Decred command line wallet. I've linked to this handy guide that takes you through the steps required to set up your own solo voting wallet. Just remember though, if you're going the solo route, it has to be online and connected 24/7. If you miss a vote, you could lose your voting reward. If you're worried about missing a vote, or you are no command line whiz, then don't fret. This is what the voting service providers, or VSPs, are for. You're basically delegating your ticket to the VSPs and they will vote on your behalf. They'll remain connected to the Decred network the whole time to ensure that block rewards are earned. In order to delegate your vote to the VSP, you can use the Decreditum GUI wallet, which is available on most operating systems. The process is pretty straightforward and just requires you purchasing the tickets and copying the VSP address as well as the API key. You can get this info over at Decred, where they have a full list of Decred VSPs to choose from. And here's a pro tip: in order to keep the network more decentralized, try not to choose the largest VSPs. Try to find those that have a slightly lower proportion stake but still have reasonable stats. Okay, so now you know how to stake DCR, but why is it on my list? Well, I really like Decred as a project. They've come a long way and it's constantly innovating. Hybrid consensus, atomic swaps, lightning integration, decentralized exchange and governance. The list goes on. I won't go over it all here, but if you want my full take, that's right, there is a video for that. There we go, my top picks for staking. I'm also aware that there may be other staking crypto out there that are similarly appealing. But right now, these projects are the ones that appeal to me the most. If you're looking at other coins to stake, remember that it's a trade-off of risk versus return. Don't just jump into the project with the highest staking return. What use is it if you earn 50% by staking but the price of the coin falls by over 50%? Net negative. Also, while staking on exchanges is quick and easy, there is no such thing as a free lunch. They do take fees from your staking returns. Let's also not forget that you have to leave your crypto on a centralized exchange to stake, which of course comes with risks. Some may view this as a reasonable cost or risk to avoid the complexities of solo staking. However, most projects listed above have tried to make it as easy as possible to stake with their core wallets or software. I would highly suggest you give it a go with a small amount initially. Taking full control of your keys and staking yourself is another win for decentralization. And that's it, guys. Guys' take on the best coins to stake. Now tell me, what do you think of the list? Any other suggestions that should have been on it? Hit me up below. And then of course, if this video was to your liking, then do some liking. Also, please don't forget to subscribe. You won't want to miss what else I have coming. Okay guys, I have to level with you. There was a lot more that I wanted to cover, but sadly, time was just not on my side. But this is exactly the reason that I have my weekly newsletter. It's basically a window into my crypto world where I share market insights, hidden news, and juicy tips. Wanna join? Top stuff. Just check out the link to my sign-up form in the description below. Enter your email, hit submit, and hey presto, you are a Coin Bureau insider. You may be in time for my next mailer, which you don't want to miss. See you guys soon.